Hi class, welcome to Com210 or Introduction to Film. Over the next 6 weeks we'll be taking a look at some movies, and we'll also be taking a look at how those movies are made. I just wanted to kind of walk through a few things for you for the course overall, and make sure that you can get things aligned, and especially make sure you can anticipate the films that you'll be needing to get a hold of and view in the next 6 weeks. First of all, right below the link for this video, you'll see a link for our syllabus. Please take a look at it. It will give you all kinds of information and overview of this course. It's pretty much set up the way all the other courses have been. There are several lectures, video PowerPoint lectures by me every week. There's always some discussion questions, and there's always some written assignment or some work that you have to do or that you have to submit for each week as well. Each week is dedicated to a chapter in our textbook, which is looking at movies. However, this first week we're going to be doing 2 chapters because it's really just the first 2 introductory chapters. And week 6 we're going to do 2 chapters. We're doing the chapter on acting and the chapter on sound. Otherwise you'll only be having 1 chapter a week. And we are pretty much following the text chronologically, so to speak. A little bit about the text and the materials. The book is called Looking at Movies. It's a great text. There are an awful lot of still examples from films in the text. A lot of times the chapters look really long, but when you start reading them you realize it's full of pictures, pages of pictures sometimes. So I hope don't be put off by the fact that the text is really thick. This is pretty common in film textbooks where they try to translate the moving image to the printed still image. I really like this book for the other piece that it has, and that is it has a set of DVD discs that come with it. Disc 1 is a number of tutorials for each chapter, and every week I'm going to be asking you to watch 1 or more of the tutorials on those discs. They're usually short, and they're very well done by the authors of the textbook. Disc 2 has 10 short films. We're going to be using these short films for discussion questions, and in some cases for our analysis, and we'll be using some of them on the quizzes that we'll be having. Some of the films are very good. They're professionally done. You'll recognize some of the actors or actresses in the films. Others are really done you can tell they're student films, or they're not done that polished in a polished way, and I think that's good. And there's a real variety of these short films that are on this disc. The shortest film runs about 5 minutes, the longest one runs about 25 minutes, and that longest one, Snapshot, we'll be using multiple weeks near the end of our course. Also, I'm asking you to take a look at some feature-length films. Now understand that you're going to have to find these feature-length films on your own. They should be readily available. Several of them recently have been on demand for Time Warner, or available at your library. I will put copies of all of them on reserve at Thomas More's library, and you're welcome to check those out if you can't get your hands on them in any other way. But the 5 films are, so that you know what they are to start looking for them: Juno, either version of True Grit. There are 2, the John Wayne version from the 1960s and a remake that was done in 2010. The Woman in Black, which is very recent. It was done in 2012. Memento, which is kind of an interesting film that came out in 2000. And one of my favorites, the musical Singing in the Rain, which came out in 1952. You can find the list of these in your syllabus, and you may want to start, kind of lining up looking at them, because you're going to need to view them in most cases at the beginning of each week or the first couple of days of each week. There will be discussion questions about them. They're used extensively in testing. Some of our written assignments are using these films. So you're going to have to get a hold of them and be able to take the time to view them. They're not long. Most of them, with the exception of Singing in the Rain, are about 90 minutes. So even though they're feature-length films, you don't really have to worry about, sitting down for 2 or 2.5 hours every week. And we're not doing a film in week 5, so you kind of get a break there. There's only 5 films that we're covering. So the 5 again are Juno, any version of True Grit, The Woman in Black, Memento, and Singing in the Rain. Finally, there is an assignment. Your last final assignment is a film analysis, and I ask you to select from one of 15 films for that analysis. Those 15 films are listed on the syllabus. You don't do the analysis till the last week, the end of the course, but if you want to start looking over that list and maybe decide which film you would like to view, there is you can start going on that. There's quite a few there that might be of interest to you, and there's all kinds of films available in that analysis as well. There's a lot of viewing in this class. You do more viewing than anything else. So you really have to be prepared to sit down and take some time with a DVD player to look at the tutorials, to look at the sample films when I ask you to look at the long films. This is a film class, so what would you expect? But I want you to understand that we're not just looking at films for the fun of it. We're looking at films to see how they're put together and what techniques are used, and understand that a lot of people, use all of these techniques when they do commercials, or they do small editing films for marketing. So, these are some techniques for styles that you may find you have to use in the future. We're simply using, entertainment films as the foray for talking about these techniques. But these techniques and this terminology, and maybe you're having to work with some of these things in the future, hopefully can translate and will translate to areas like advertising. Last but not least, you know where I live on the web. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me or message me, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible with an answer, or to try to fix the glitch, if there is a glitch, as soon as we can. Well, I hope you're ready. Let's enjoy this, and time to go to the movies.